being in my tent camping with my family and refusing to leave the tent to go for a hike because I was like, I have to finish this. But yeah, I mean, it is like it's the end of an era, and we grew up with these characters just like other people grew up with the characters. So
yeah, it was definitely bittersweet because there's a sense of completion with it, and we knew it was always a 3-season arc, so it's very satisfying and there's a lot of payoff, which is really quite lovely, but also the bitter part comes of just being like, not really wanting it to be over, knowing things, and it's both good and bad.
Have you guys, like settled into your internet fame yet? I'm always curious to know if you've had a memorable fan interaction or something weird that's happened in person or on social media.
Yeah, we've had so many memorable fan moments. I mean, most recently, I think I said this in an interview recently, but we received this book of just hundreds of comments from people around the world who didn't have a chance to go to Fan Expo, and someone bound it together and gave it to all of the cast members, and that was so touching, and it's something that I'll always treasure and have, and that's so wonderful. And I think, any time I interact with a fan, it's very pleasant, and it's really nice to do something that's meaningful to people, because so often you just take what you can get as a young actor, and it's nice to do something that actually has social responsibility and that we see truly touches people. So it's difficult to choose just one fan moment, but I think we have settled into our internet fame a little bit. Like for me, I've settled into it, I've gotten used to it, and I've learned how to navigate it. It took some time, and it's still always very surreal in some ways, but now we sort of know how to do things. I mean, I would say, like, I post a lot fewer personal things now, and it is kind of nice to disconnect from social media. I used to feel the need to take pictures every time I went to a restaurant or every time I hung out with someone, and now because I am in the public eye, I don't do that, and it's actually kind of liberating because now I will take photos just for me. Like, yesterday, I don't know if you saw, people were asking me on Twitter, where's Elise, where's Elise? And the funny thing was, we spent the whole night together. Yeah. We had dinner, we went shopping, and we just didn't post about it, and it was sort of nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I think that's been something that I have to wrap my head around, is that what you see online is just snippets. It's not the whole story ever, and there's no way to ever get the whole story online. I think you can do your best to just be yourself on social media, but like that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit, though, knowing that unless I'm walking around with a GoPro on my head the entire duration of a day, nobody's gonna get the full breadth of my life, and that's okay.
Sometimes it's frustrating in a way, because you're like, oh no, like you'll see comments and you're like, that's not who I am or what I mean, but then you just sort of have to let it go, and it's taught me to be a lot less critical of celebrities that are way more famous than us, because we're just like, wow, we have this tiny scale of things, and then when I look at them, it's like you can't be judgmental or read tabloids, because now I totally understand. I'm like, wow, that's probably not them at all, because some of this stuff isn't really me. I mean, we try to be as genuine as possible on our own social media, but the way you have no control over how people interpret it, for sure.
I know we've done 2 questions here. Well, this will be the last one.
Okay.
We'll do the last 3 here, and do a quick photo and kind of the step and repeat.
Awesome.
And then head down with the panel.
Yeah. Great. That's happening.
Do we have time to pee?
No, you have to hold it.
If you guys could remake any movie together, what would it be?
Oh,
together.
You always hate this answer, but I feel like Lesbian Grease would just be hilarious.
Yeah.
I know you're sick of playing the sweet characters.
Oh man, maybe we could do some old school. I want to do something like action adventure with you. like I'm trying to think, like Charlie's Angel.
Or I think I want to do something with you when we're like in our 70s.
Yeah, like Frankie and Gracie.
Yeah, Grace and Frankie, like where it's like, oh, here are these actors who worked together when they were really young and starting out.
Yeah.
They have not worked together forever, and then they like return
And just do something totally, like, we'll pull a Revolutionary Road.
yeah.
Like Leo and Kate from Titanic, and we'll just do something like, we'll just go dark. That's mine.
If you had to play another character in Carmilla, who would you want to play?
I used to say Maddie, but I feel like the Dean would be really fun to play. However, I just don't think that I could play Harry, so probably Maddie. Yeah.
I think I'd love to play the Dean. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of other characters, the supporting cast has gotten a lot more stuff to do this season.
Yeah.
So what's that been like, being able to actually like play off of, especially the Dean this season?
It's been great.
Awesome. Like for
They both
me,
killed it.
yeah. Probably the most boring thing for me to do as an actor is stand in front of a camera and talk. Like it's just so boring for me. The best is when you get to act with other people, so that was. I mean, and I think the writers did such an amazing job this year of like bringing so many storylines. Everything has a purpose.
Everyone has a motivation.
Yeah, and so I just feel like the story as a whole is just so strong this year, and everyone's part in it is so important. And I mean, we get to work with an amazing cast, so like, let's obviously give them amazing things to do and say.
Caitlin's also doing such a great job. They've really come into their own, and it's been really fun playing off of them and being sort of bros, like Laugh and Carmilla are sort of bros this season, and it's really interesting just because Carmilla generally is sort of in the background lurking around and only really interacts with Laura, so it's been nice to play with you.
I think that's one of my favorite things about this season is that Carmilla has friends other than, like, Laura is really the only human that she's been interested in, and I think it's so important that Carm has other people, and like I love that friendship between them.
Humans,
Yeah, totally.
I think that's it. If anyone wants to take a photo, we'll go